A beautiful morning to you all out there, wherever you're watching us from. This is U45 Morning Show on your favorite television station, Super Screen Television. You know how we do on U45 Morning Show. We try to drive your day. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing at the moment. But what really matters at this point is that you go with us on this journey as we take you through the happenings in the country. So usually we do a newspaper review and then we go straight to our hashtag and trends, then the topic for the day, and then finally to wrap it up we go to Sports Center, where Joel Wankego comes in to give us the happenings in the world of sports. Right about now we will be starting the show with our newspaper review. Welcome. Shegmudinola Adeyemi is my name.
And I'm Patience Willie. Welcome to the U45 Morning Show. The first newspaper to review is the Daily Sun. And the front bonus story says, FCT under threat at Pabio. And the writer says, install CCTV, reps tell Wike. Governors needs more power to secure states, Obi. Tamboa and Atta. This can be found on page 6, 26, and 28 of the Sun newspaper. Moving on, the Sun awards worthy of celebration. This is a statement made by Ebube Ogu and Uzo. And then we move on to the next story. Renewed hope turning into renewed anger. And the writer says XAPC NWC member Lukman Towns FG on the Renewed Hope program, and this can be found on page 8 of the newspaper. Moving on, court orders FG to fix prices of food goods in 7 days. This can be found on page 25 of the Sun newspaper. Another story says, address corruption, wasteful spending in your government. Northern elders tell Tinubu. This can be found on page 26 of the Daily Sun. Do yourself good to get the Daily Sun and get more stories.
All right, moving on away from that, we'll go straight to Daily Independent. And the scribbling headline there says, reps propose mandatory electronic transmission of poll result. Yes, and then another one says, Tinubu's renewed hope turning to renewed anger. That's according to APC chieftain. The writer says, party dishonest in bearing opposition for protest. Fan boss advocates single screening process for passengers. Stops proliferating of protocol services. You find that on page 7. Kogi CSOs warn EFCC against cankerworms of previous management. Another headline says, NNPC celebrates 14,000 barrel per day production from Akpo West Field. You find that on page 6. Bodija explosion. 3 persons of interest identified to be prosecuted. You find that on page 7. Ground handlers write domestic airlines over new safety threshold rates. You find more of that on page 6. Another headline says, Northern elders urge Tinubu to curb corruption, wasteful spending in government. Another headline says, court orders federal government to fix prices of goods within 7 days. Senate gives finance minister 7 days to account for 100 billion naira gas project fund. And finally, Super Eagles qualify for 8th AFCON final. For more of that story, you find it on page 30 of the Daily Independent.
And the front burner story on the Nation's newspaper says EFCC clamps down on firms for issuing invoices in dollars. The writer says agencies Arrest suspects in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kaduna. Varsity proprietor summoned. Another story says, Northern elders urge Tinubu to curb corruption, wasteful spending in government. That is the rising inflation story. And that's on the Daily Independence. Moving on, Tinubu's renewed hope. Oh, the Nation's newspaper, pardon me. EFCC clamps down on firms for issuing invoices in dollars. Another story says NNPCL begins production of extra 14,000 PDP. Moving on, another story says Oyo gives 460 million to 1,407 farmers in economic recovery plan. Moving on, World Bank's $15 billion for 30 projects in Nigeria. Another story says, My plan for Ondo by Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Moving on, another story says, Alscon privatization dispute persists. And that's all I can take on the Nation newspaper.
All right, so moving on to Nigerian Tribune, and the screaming headline says, Court orders federal government to fix prices of fuel goods within 7 days. And then the writer says, as prices of food, household items soar nationwide, bags of foreign rice, 77,000 naira in FCT, bag of beans sells for 100,000 naira in Owerri. Pasta carton sells for 13,300 naira in Lagos. Bag of maize sells for 55,000 naira in Kaduna. Kogi traders stage protest over economic hardship. Another protest in Niger. 88.4 million Nigerians living in extreme poverty. That's according to the federal government. Oyo explosion, 1,407 farmers with 460 million naira. Bodija explosion, 3 suspects identified for prosecution as Makinde receives official reports. And then another headline says, Police arrest masterminds of Mina protests, 24 others. You find more of that story on page 19 of Nigerian Tribune. Away from that, Electoral Act. Reps pass bill on e-transmission of election results. Insecurity. Senate reschedules meeting with service chiefs for February 13. And another headline says, EFCC raises special task force against dollarization of economy, mutilation of currency. Following that closely, reps to probe banks over rising foreign exchange. The writer says to investigate alleged certificate racketeering by Nigerian student, and then unveils plan to probe Jonathan Buhari's concession PPP agreement. And finally, on Nigerian Tribune, still on the AFCON. Nigeria in AFCON final beats South Africa.
And then to the Daily Trust. The front burner story says bandits threaten to marry bride, sell 62 wedding guests. And the writer says they demand 100 million ransom for this. Another story says 5 months after, Tinubu yet to replace recalled ambassadors. Then moving on, Nigeria beats South Africa to set up AFCON final with Cote d'Ivoire. Another story says Abuja unsafe, Senate. Moving on to another story, forest crisis. Nothing for Nigeria as our crude oil sold in advance. Still on the news, Senegal, US CDD condemn presidential poll shift. And that's all I can take on the Daily Trust.
All right, moving away to the Punch newspaper. EFCC 7,000 man task force goes after dollar racketeers. And the writer says EFCC summons private varsities, proprietors, companies, others charging dollar fees. And the writer says government agencies violating law on Forex too. NESG tells Commission. Airlines promise compliance. And the headline says Tinubu inaugurates student loan scheme February 21. Following that directly, 500,000 jobs threatened over ban of sachet alcoholic drinks. That's according to MAN, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria. Following that directly, government approval delays Dangote refinery fuel. And away from that, another headline just below the newspaper says Oyo to prosecute threshold over Ibadan explosion. Following that directly, Okada riders, policemen clash as Lagos enforces ban. Cashless transactions rise to 611 trillion naira. NBSS. And finally, on the Punch newspaper, Wambali shines as Nigeria beats South Africa to reach AFCON final.
And to the Daily Times, Senate in crucial talk with security chiefs over insecurity. That's the front burner story on the Daily Times. Moving on, EFCC launches task force to combat forest crimes. Another story says 3 suspects to face prosecution for Ibadan explosion. Moving on, Super Eagles victory excites Tinubu. Another story says reps move for adoption of electric transmission of poll results. Moving on, boy to grow access to finance with IFC $20 billion investment portfolio. And that's all I can take on the Daily Times.
All right, and that will be all on the newspaper review this morning. Do well to get yourself one of these dailies and read to be abreast of what's happening in the country. And by the way, congratulations to every single one of us.
Yes, congratulations. You know, we actually said it before the AFCON that Nigerians have a way of pulling this hat trick. And so far, that's what's happening. They never believed us.
They never did.
They never did.
But we do.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yes.
We believed in ourselves.
Yes.
And we said Nigeria will get to the final and go as far as bringing home the trophy.
Yes.
We're waiting for Joel Wankigo.
Congratulations in advance.
When that time comes. Congratulations to us.
To Nigerians.
Yes. Celebration, celebration, celebration. We are proud of every single citizen of this country. All right. So right about now, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, it will be time for hashtag Untrends. Do stay with us.
line. It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well. He's alongside Lewis Hamilton and he's making good progress.
Definitely a look here to play this kind of zone.
Sebastian Vettel touching the whole way through as they retire from.
Moses. Giro looking much more promising in the second half. Red Bull Polution!
Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Olúṣọlá ní orúkọ ti tèmi Funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kì tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ètò tó ga jù. Ẹ má miss ẹ̀, ó ga jù lẹ́tò. Ẹ pàdé mi, ó ṣàprápra.
Lẹ́nu ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu ó dùn lẹ́nu. Come on, I cannot do.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. Not be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth, make we build our country. Not be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eye see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen with there and my name now Mr. Peace. That MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
Welcome back, and you're still watching the U45 morning show. Thank you for staying tuned. All right, so it's time for our hashtag and trends. And then to start off with that, I don't know how many of you heard this, but Mohbad's mother says, so there was a video, someone was playing the audio tape she sent. She sent a voice note and it was playing, and it was like Josie. So that's the name they call Mohbad's father, Josie, and that Josie is not the father of Mohbad.
How can she say this at this point in time?
You know, when she said that, people heard in the comment section, people were like, what does she mean, Josie? Mohbad's father is not Mohbad's father. Yet you left Mohbad's father's house with Mohbad in his care because they were not together for a while.
For a while, yes.
And Mohbad was living with this man that is not his father. Now, someone now said, that means it's either of two things. She was cheating on Mohbad's father, just like the son's wife is.
Okay.
And then the person said another thing, that could it be that Mohbad's wife has gone to connive with her so that even when they do the DNA test with Mohbad's father and Mohbad's son, if it doesn't align, that goes to show that Mohbad's father is not Mohbad's father. Do you understand?
This is absolutely insane. She is not a mother, because a mother will not go as far as, I mean, that is, I don't even know, I'm lost, I'm speechless right now. Because a mother, number one, she was irresponsible for her to have left her son with the father, if peradventure he's not originally the father. Now, if she wants to gain financially through the death of her son, she's wicked. By conniving with the wife so that they will think the father is not the biological father, that is witchcraft at the heights. So, God have mercy.
Well, she says she's still going to come out to, because Mohbad's father went on a show and then more or less like an expository into what happened, what transpired. And then, so she's coming out now to debunk that and says, look, you're not even the father. So that means she has been, Mohbad is 20-something years old, I can't remember. So that means she hid the truth from that man for over 20 years.
And now, because there's a lot of money to be shared, she wants to kick the man out of the picture by saying he's not the father. Take it or leave it, madam. The man took care of your son. He is the father. There's some fathers that are whole. The fact that he didn't biologically impregnate you, it doesn't mean he's not the father. He was there for that boy.
He fathered the child.
He was a father indeed. You are not a mother. You left, and he stayed and took care of Mohbad. Biologically, yes or not, he is the father. That's my take.
So anyways, the story is unfolding and people are saying the family is a mess. Mohbad did not find peace while he was alive. Now he's dead. Still no peace. It's trouble in the home. Anyway, we just believe that there will be a lasting solution to all of this.
I hope so.
There will be a lasting solution to all of this. Mohbad is truly shining light.
He is.
In dark places.
Yes.
Because his slogan is Imole.
Imole.
Meaning to shine light in places. And it's really shining light into this, because if not for what happened, the father would not hear this side of the story.
No, never.
That is not the father of Mohbad.
Yes.
You understand? Anyway, as the story unfolds, we will let you guys know.
Yes.
So we know what happened. And then, so let's quickly talk about Lizzie Anjorin. Now, Lizzie Anjorin has come out to say, look, all of those things was a setup, and she knows the person that set her up.
Set her up.
Because there was a video when the issue of fake alert and all of that, Yabo did the video saying, we don't do fake alert.
No, but why would she want to, involve herself in this, in Anjorin's issue? I don't understand.
They're at loggerheads.
But she should just have stayed away. And now there's a video that's saying she is innocent.
Yeah, so she came out to say she's innocent.
Yes.
She did not even do transfer, not to talk of fake transfer, that she has never done transfer. She pays
In
cash.
cash.
She pays in cash, whatever she's buying. And then that's not the first time she's buying there.
What beats me is, must you run down someone else so that you can be famous?
Well, it's the industry. That's where they found themselves. I mean, but it's for me. If you ask me, I would say it's not ideal. It's not a good thing to talk down on someone. If someone is going through a trying time, just if you cannot help, let it be.
Definitely.
If you cannot help, let it be. But that's not the case between Lizzie Anjorin and Iyabo Ojo. But hopefully they're going to get to the root of the matter, because Lizzie Anjorin is saying she knows who is behind all of this. That the person planted someone somewhere so as to discredit her. But she's here, she's not in any police station, she's this, she's that. So hopefully everything will come to the limelight very soon. All right, moving on away from that now to Joke Silva. She says, government to sink money into Nollywood to make filmmakers happy. Yeah, she says she wants government to sink money into Nollywood so that filmmakers can be happy. Yes, I mean, I would love that. I would love that, because now if you see most of these filmmakers, they use personal funds.
Yes.
You understand? If you're not the likes of Funke Akindele, you're not the likes of
Kunle
Afolayan. You understand? You're not the likes of Susan Austin Peters. You're not more Abudu. You might not get sponsors.
Yes.
You understand? All these multinational companies might not come to sponsor you. Meaning, you have to use your personal funds, or you go to friends and families to
raise funds
for you. And if you're lucky, you get angel investors. They invest, and then you go ahead with your projects. But if government comes in, hopefully everyone will benefit from it, not just the A-list producers. Everyone will benefit from it. Though the Bank of Industry, they have a unit for Nollywood, but people don't go there because they feel Bank of Industry, the people in that unit will just want to be all in your business. You're shooting, they want to be there. What are you shooting?
Yeah.
Why are you doing it this way? No, stop this.
They want to dictate.
You understand? And filmmakers don't want that.
Okay.
They have an idea of what they want to shoot. They have an idea of the message they're trying to pass. But the people from Bank of Industry in that unit, they want you to make profit so as to recoup what they put in for you.
Of course.
You
Every
understand?
businessman wants to make profit.
You understand? So
No businessman wants to run at a loss.
so
Definitely.
they're always in your business, and people don't like that. So people refrain from
Going to them
Bank of Industry
for investments.
All right. Now on to Mr. Jollof. Mr. Jollof is saying those money changers at events needs to be arrested. They commit daylight robbery. Can't you see them? That's what Mr. Jollof is asking.
No,
the CBN governor.
What really grieves me is the fact that they want to, if they want to run as a POS agent, there are specific amounts they're supposed to charge as interest. But this money changes interest are so high at parties, it's outrageous.
You use to get 100,000 naira, you use 120,000 naira to get 100,000 naira.
Excuse me?
If you want to get, so usually like 20% of what you're getting, usually like 20%.
Yeah.
So if you want to get 1 million, you use 200,000 to get 1 million.
That's outrageous.
It's crazy.
It's
They will
seriously
tell
daylight robbery.
They also will tell you that going to the bank to get this money out, they had to pay. They had to give the bankers, the bank managers, the operation managers money to be able to get this money out. So that is where the problem is. Why are they having access to mint? And people
who go to the bank that deposit their money in the banks and all that don't get this.
Don't have it.
Most times you go there and they give you ton naira notes.
And that's how they are in business. For instance, I bank with this commercial bank, commercial institution, and I go there like, okay, I'm attending a wedding tomorrow. Please, I want to withdraw 200,000
and I want it in mint.
Please, I want mint.
They'll tell you it's not available.
There's no mint.
There's no mint.
So you have to go to the event center where the money changers will come, and you will see
so much mint in all denominations.
Yes. And once they are through, once they exhaust the ones with them, they go back and come to the event center with another.
So now it's not only the money changers that should be dealt with. The bank managers also have to be penalized for this.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones giving them the money. Without the bank managers giving the money changers money, they would not have mints.
Of course. So anyway, so many people will be questioned for that. It's a good one. All right. So finally, let's come to this international story, because this is the one people have been talking about. Like, what nonsense? What are they doing? What is all this? So we're going back to the Grammys. So now the CEO of so someone said they've been doing Grammy Awards since. The CEO has not come out to explain anything.
Yeah.
They nominated Davido, and he did not win. The CEO had to come out and explain himself.
Yes.
But anyway, I think the explanation is not good. People like Special Spesh, Davido's hype man, and then one other person. They've all said these things, that they are just using. Even Cubana Chief Priest said these people are just using us
for hype,
for
hype and clout,
to make more money.
Yes,
you understand, and to gain relevance. They want to control Afrobeat and then come into it and own it, then destroy it. That's what they're trying to do. Because now the CEO of Grammy, that's Recording Academy, says for you to be awarded the Grammys, for you to win a Grammy, it does not matter if you have 1 billion streams. It does not matter. It does not matter if your fan base is 1 trillion. It does not matter. That what really matters is the executive. Those are the people voting. Those are the people voting. Your viewers cannot vote. Your followers cannot vote. Your fans cannot vote. Nobody can vote except for these executives in the Recording Academy. Now, for you to be a member, you have to be in the state. You have to be in the state. You have to work in the state. So that means you hardly find Nigerians in the Recording Academy. You barely find Africans in the Recording Academy, the people that have the voting right. So now, why are they nominating Nigerians? Why are they nominating Africans when we cannot vote? I mean, it should be viewers' choice. Grammys, the Oscar. The Oscar has the likes of Genevieve Onaji, who can vote. You understand? She's a Nigerian. She understands the Nigerian market, the African market. You understand? So, but in the Grammys Recording Academy, there is no Nigerians there. You barely even find an African there. So how will they vote for a song they do not know? How would they know the song that is making waves in Africa, in all of Africa? I mean, Tyler's song, Waters, It's just for TikTok. Those are the people that are really listening to it. It's not an African anthem like a Davido's Unavailable.
Or even a Burna Boy.
Or even Burna Boy's City Boy.
Even, what's his name? Ashake. Money on My Mind.
In fact, it is Arya Starr that made Tyler's song Water famous. And Arya Starr was in the same category. So, I mean, they need to, I don't know, but I feel what should happen is Nigerians should reject their nominations.
Definitely. And then if they want them to come as performing artists to the Grammy, they should pay them.
Yes. Pay for their services.
Because they're saying you have to be a member of the Recording Academy, and then you have to recite a work in America. Now, if you're a member and you don't live in America, that means you can't even win. So it is already a disqualifier for them, even before they go into the nomination. So they're just there as rubber stamps. So yes, that's it. So if they want them to be in the Grammys, they should pay for their performance. Oh, Burna Boy, come and perform. David will come and perform. Pay them their performance fee, and then that's it.
I feel it comes to a point when people realize. So there was an artist that was nominated, 3 nominations in the Grammys, and then this artist wrote Grammys and said, or wrote Recording Academy and said, please kindly remove my songs and my name from your nominations list. I don't want.
Good.
So they were forced to remove the person. So I think that's what Nigerians should do. I mean, you don't need a Grammy.
No.
You have your fan base.
Yes.
People love you.
Yeah.
You do not need anybody to give you one plaque and say, because of that plaque, you're not relevant.
You're excellent.
Come on, no.
And
Davido is shutting down America, shutting down UK. Burna Boy is shutting down America, shutting down UK. Rema is shutting down. Rema got an award in China.
Huh.
He's going to perform in India. Now he got an award in China.
Yeah.
So that means these guys
are relevant around the world, and we don't need the Grammys.
So we don't need a Grammy. Is Kanye West dissed them, said it doesn't need them. So people, when you're able to stand for what is right, then every other person will sit up. My submission is nobody should allow the Recording Academy to dictate the tunes of Afrobeat.
Definitely.
If possible, Seun Anikulapo Kuti and Femi Anikulapo Kuti, if possible, Made Anikulapo Kuti, should sue the Grammy or the Recording Academy for playing their father's
song, Water.
Yes. For Tyler's Water. They should sue them.
I was expecting them to actually play Tyler's Water,
so why
not Fella's Water.
I mean, come on. That doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's all we'll be able to take on today's hashtag and trends this morning. So right about now, we'll go on another break. And then the topic we'll be treating today, the topic we'll be looking at today is poisons and workplace pollution. That's the effects of poisons and pollution in the workplace. That's what we'll be looking at today. And then also, Sporting Joel is standing by to join us so that we can really talk about our win. You understand? Talk about our win. We did not win at the Grammys, right? But a South African won it. But here on the field of play, on the pitch, we show them that the Eagle is actually super. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back after this time out.
Demand attitude. I am Salahuddin.
Demand excitement. Demand action. Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head. And if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing? I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat. Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food?
The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General James. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please.
are you doing out of bed?
I needed a drink. You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
Because they fight all of them, it is always good to live in peace with our neighbor.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be disputes of boundary, shared amenities. Your favorite TV comedy drama is now wearing a new look as Face to Face rebranded.
Hi, Ajani.
Yes, sir.
There is problem in the house. Your brother wife, the carry man, come house.
Lie. It no go happen. My brother wife. See, now me supposed to inherit that woman. Oh.
Baby Julius.
Baby
Julius. Baby. Baby.
Wait. I've been expecting this. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, Face to Face rebranded.
Mama Sule, if you don't get this your rubbish off my precious baby now, I will throw it away.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin.
Why you virginity?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Wait, where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body, that's a special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paul.
Paula.
Tunde.
No.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do. You have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
Hi, my name is Yabojo, and you're watching Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching U45 Morning Show on Super Screen Television. And this morning we're looking at the poisons and workplace pollutions, also the effects of poison and pollution in the workplace. And then to do justice to this, we have a specialist. It's not new to the house. He's a friend of the house, in person of Timothy Iwagu. He's the president and fellow Institute of Professionals in Nigeria. And also is a specialist in industrial safety, planning and control management. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so please let's even define what pollution is at the workplace and what are poisons at the workplace.
Yes, pollution and poisons are interrelated, correlated. And if we look at the very word pollution, it has to do with the addition into any material of substances that would modify or upset its predetermined composition. Addition of materials that will rather contaminate by upsetting its original state. If you add a salt into water, maybe the water itself had some percentage of sodium chloride and magnesium and other salts at allowed limits about, and if you add anything beyond that, it could be regarded as pollution. You are polluting it. So poisons, because that is a bit wider, because the word poison has to do with chemicals that could upset or modify especially biological systems. Yes. So poisons are not mainly artificial. Some of them are natural in their origin. And when poisons are produced within a biological setting or a system, we often call them toxins. So the word toxin and the word poison sometimes are interchangeably used. And
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that expository. So now we know. For people working in medical lines or even media, I mean, we're exposed to so many things. So how, let's even start with media, people mounting masts, some of this equipment that has radiation. How can they save themselves from these poisons, if I may use the word, from harming themselves? Because at times you just look at things like, okay, let me quickly go in and do what I want to do and come out, disregarding the fact that going in and come out in the space of 5 minutes, you might have hurt something deep within with the rays that fly around. How can they safely do their daily activity?
Yes, there are permissible limits to exposures to things we can authoritatively define or identify as pollutants. Pollutants may have radioactive origins. They may have sound origin. They may be perceived through our hearing capacities, noise pollution, the air and water and the earth or ground, as we may say, are the main sources of pollution and the main root of pollution of the environment. Now, the human root of pollution includes ingestion, that's through eating, inhalation, contact of the skin. Now, outside, in daylight, we have the cosmic rays from the sun. And then the cosmic ray, as we may see it as just clear light, it contains other components, colors that the human eye cannot readily or adequately identify just by looking without using some instruments. We have the red light, we have orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now these are the 7 main colors from the daylight from the sun you are seeing. Now there's beyond or before the red and beyond the violet are other components that are not visible. What I've just mentioned are the visible components. You understand? The visible ones.
No, but this visibility can't be seen with the eyes.
No, they can when they are. It depends, because one thing is when any light is incident on a surface, certain things happen. One, the light is some quantity or components of this electromagnetic spectrum. These colors I've mentioned now, some will be absorbed by the surface where the light is incident upon. Because the light, when light is incident upon a surface, a certain percentage of the light is absorbed by that surface. And a certain percentage of the light may pass through that surface, depending on the permissibility of that surface, if it allows the passage of that light. Otherwise, a certain percentage is also reflected. So it is the reflected ones that we see. The ones that is absorbed, we don't see. The one that passes through, we don't see. And why they are capable of being reflected or absorbed or passed through is determined by their frequencies, because all this differential in colors is just about differential in frequency of transmission. Okay. So the frequency determines whether we can see it. Our human system has limitations. And you can see some lower animals, like the dogs, the cats, the birds, they perceive some of these things better than humans. They can see certain colors that you may not see. Beyond that, I don't want to digress much, but the human being is like a piece of magnet. A piece of magnet is surrounded by a flux, magnetic field, and then that field is always expressed as colors when seen from a certain instrument, which includes the eyes of certain lower animals. That's why sometimes the dog is going to bark at you, not because you are coming to steal, but once you see the dog and you become worried and you become scared, the ray, the field around you, which some mostly called aura, they are all electromagnetic. The dog will see them, see the color that is provocative to the dog, start wanting to attack.
Now, are we saying that this light people absorb this light at different capacities? Because it's not everybody that a dog barks at.
It's not everybody. It depends on your mood. Do you know that it's about, ordinarily, you know, when you are afraid, when you are worried,
it shows.
A whole lot of things happen. When you are even sick, we say your immunity drops. It is that dropping of immunity.
Does it have any connections with these rays of light?
Yes, a whole lot of things affect us. If you are very healthy, you have resistance to a whole lot of things. And once your health status reduces, other things can attack you. Those things have been around all this while. Like we are breathing in and out. There are quite some things we may breathe in that will be ordinarily not harmful when we are okay. But once we have a little compromise in our respiratory health status, we see that some of those things we have been inhaling will now cause some nasal blockage or lead to pulmonary disorder that wasn't there before now. So there are a whole lot of things. That's why we're looking at it from that angle, that the light that is incident on a surface, some will be absorbed. If pollutants, if poisons, environmental materials are coming to you, it may not cause illness in Mr. A, but it will cause illness in Mr. B.
Yes.
The differential in our susceptibility, you know, is there. That is why some persons can take a carton of beer and still be asking you, don't you have more drinks? And another person will take a glass of beer and there's total disorientation.
Okay, so let me ask you, Timothy. Now in Shomolu here, no, not just Shomolu, printing press all over the country, they inhale most of these chemicals that they use in printing.
Printing.
Understand? Now, that is what they do on a daily. That is their
source of livelihood.
Source of livelihood. So every day, Monday to Saturday, they are there from morning to night. So what can be done to, because now, like you said, when you're healthy, things that comes at you, it might not really weigh you down, you might not feel it. But when one or two things happens and then you're a little bit ill or down, all of those things will now start affecting you. So for them, what can they do to expel the fumes, that's the poisons, as we may call it, that they must have inhaled throughout the course of the week?
Now, there's always need to detoxify the biological system. A whole lot of bombardment occurs as we interact with the environment. Now, these people are pursuing their daily means of livelihood and economic pursuits. They have a lot of hazards, just like we talk about occupation. An occupation is something you embark upon for the purpose of earning a living.
Yes.
And for every occupation, there is a hazard. The hazard could be generic, could be, you know, common hazard that is common across occupation, but it could be specific. So if it's not generic, it's specific. And now the person working has a duty to ensure that he works safely. Like I said, I have always said that it is the primary duty of government to provide security and welfare as enshrined in the first schedule of the Constitution. Now, welfare of the citizens, if the citizen does not know some of the things that will affect the welfare negatively, it is duty of government to do that. And of course, government, pursuant to this section of Constitution, has established agencies, organizations, bodies, empowered them through parliamentary acts to help enforce awareness, to build consciousness that will drive awareness or alertness within the people so that they will be able to identify harmful conditions, harmful materials, and so on. So the man working in such a place where there is an atmosphere that is highly charged with pollutants, he is inhaling, he is contacting, sometimes he is ingesting, because some of them buy their food and eat in that same space. So a whole lot of things happen. Now we have different types of exposure. We have acute exposure and we have chronic exposure. So some persons, like I said, our susceptibility varies from person to person. Now, it depending on the volume or percentage of the pollutant in the air within the environment, somebody may be affected in a manner that can be described as acute exposure, acute effect. So an acute effect is the effect you get when you are exposed to a hazard in a very short interval. If they're grinding pepper here now and you just come in, you may just start sneezing almost instantly because the mucous membrane in your upper respiratory tract is already irritated and the biological system is now responding by that sneezing. So these are the things that happen. So we call that type of reaction, or if the effect is due to the acute effect of a certain pollutant in the air. Now if you remain there sneezing and sneezing until you stop sneezing, your system is trying to adapt because you have refused to leave. Your system is trying to adapt, and your system will definitely adapt to an extent depending on your level of immunity that could balance the incoming and the existing. So your system adapts, so you continue staying there, inhaling the same thing. There will come a time where the cumulative of this intake gets to a point where it will overcome the system and there will be a breakdown. That breakdown now is due to chronic exposure because you've gone beyond acute. It's now the chronic because maybe you are not there continuously, but every day you come there and stay for 10 minutes and go away. Every day you stay at least 10 minutes. So you see that those little doses of intake over a long period of time will lead to a chronic manifestation of a certain disorder. The Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria talks much about health, safety, and environment because our health and our safety are tied to our environment. It is when you come within the space where you call environment, because environment is a wide term. The meaning has to do with your surrounding, that which environs. So your surrounding could be just here in the studio. We have the studio environment. Outside this studio, we go to the car park, we have the car park environment. If you go to the forest, now you are in the forest environment. If you are on a boat moving across the lagoon, you are within the marine environment. Now different things happen in different environments. And we are all exposed to these things that happen as we interface with the various environments. So these workers who are in printing business who are continuously exposed to some of these things, whether acutely or chronically, it is all impacting on the health. And without knowledge, people perish. You say people perish for lack of knowledge. Now, awareness issue, it is even an issue going to offer them free training, free, just free awareness training. You know why it is difficult? Because they will tell you, how can they leave the business and come and listen? Oh, we don't have time. Will you have time on Saturday? We work till Saturday. What of Sunday? Say sometimes my client will say I should deliver on Sunday. Now, the shoe cannot be costlier or more valued than the leg that will wear it. They must stay alive to satisfy the client. They must stay alive to earn a living. And the aim of work is to earn a living. So why should you work if you have to modify the essence of work?
So how do we prevent these poisons and pollution at the workplace? How can we prevent it?
Good. Like I said, the air, the water, and the land are the root of exposure to the environment. And then the breath, the nose, the mouth, and the skin are the human root of exposure. And then we are not looking beyond. If we go beyond that, we include injection. And when we mention injection, human exposure to poisons can be through injection. And when we talk of injection, it could be intramuscular, it could be intravenous. They are all part of. Then we can also talk about insertion, intraanal, using suppositories, intravaginal. There are different types of route of exposure, of these poisons. Almost every drug is a poison. Now, the difference between food and poison has to do with the quantity taken when we talk of dosage. We also talk about the composition, the constituent of the material of that drug. And then we look at the body weight, the body mass of the person exposed. What will affect a child, a very young child, will not affect an adult because of the differential in body mass. You get the point? Now, some persons who are working, the way to protect themselves, because the environment is affected, then from there, it gets to the human. Engineering controls. If you go into some of the workshops, into some of the printing rooms, including photographic labs, these chemicals have taken over the atmosphere.
Yes.
And people are constantly working there. To the extent that it comes to a time where you lose your sense of smell.
Yes.
Because our 5 senses are all security and safety harnesses with which our biological being has been endowed to survive, not to die, to survive. It's all about safety. So your sense of smell, your sense of taste, sense of hearing and all this, when you get unduly exposed to unacceptable limits, you lose some of these senses because you have overcome their natural capacities. So some people will be working there and lose the capacity to perceive the stench, the toxic odor or smell from some of these chemicals.
At the long run, how dangerous could that be?
It could be as dangerous as my definition of poison. I told you that there are chemicals that have the capacity to modify or alter biological systems. Poison. So our body is a chemical laboratory. Our body, enzymes, hormones, and all these things. Some of the things you take in will go and pollute those chemicals and make them to get altered and start producing results that are not natural. And people get sick, including cancer. What is cancer? When we talk of carcinogenesis, we are talking about modification of somatic cells, the human body cells. When there is some exposure that will make the human body cells to start disobeying the parent cell and start acting haywire. So that is mutagenesis. So when it becomes, we start experiencing mutation of the cells, and they start replicating outside the natural code for the body, the person falls sick, and a whole lot of things happen. And then you start curing with drugs that are also chemicals. So you can see that you are bombarding the biological system with multiple chemicals that may even be fighting each other. And when two elephants fight,
the grass suffers.
The grass suffers.
Now, there's something I would like to ask here at this junction. What would be your advice to people working in this poisonous, toxic environment on how to protect themselves both physically and medically?
Yes, there's need for regular medical checkup. The medical association, the pharmaceutical groups, sometimes do not focus on preventive causes. The focus has been mainly on curative. And somebody told me last time that preventive medicine does not generate money.
So it's all about the business.
Yeah, because of the excessive capitalist tendencies. Even for businesses that are supposed to have 50% humanitarian consideration, they're all totally transformed into business because the economy is no more favoring any ethical approach to business. It's all about money because survival has become the major thing for both individual and corporate settings. So there have been a lot of issues. But now, ignorance is worse than any of these things we are talking about. Because there are also natural things. People can eat fruits. People can eat dairy products that will help boost these body cells. When some toxins, dust, chemicals settle on the walls of the lungs, on the alveoli is coated with mucous membrane. And there are some special types of cells that have components we call cilia or flagella that help, like wiper off your windscreen on your vehicle. They keep wiping the surface of those membranes, removing the foreign materials. And that is why sometimes you will just stay and then you see a lump of mucus just come to your upper tract, you know, and you expectorate, you just throw it out. You didn't call for it. The system is working. That is just an indication that the system is working. It is there. It's just like you have a light that is configured to come on when there's motion. So if anything passes, whether it's human or otherwise, even if you throw a ball across that light, it will come up. So the system is configured to protect itself.
Right.
And it happens also with the eyes. You see, you can wake up sometimes, you see a whole lot of things in your eyes. While you are sleeping, these systems are working. But when you have overloaded the system with toxins and overpowered the system, you become vulnerable.
So in other words, you're saying people should take more of natural fruits to protect their immune system.
Yes, and then create, like I said, engineering control, exhaust fans for such spaces, including the elitist organizations like the banking industry. Workers in the bank work in bulk rooms. Some of these currency notes that have passed through millions of hands have become soggy somehow, and they are products of fiber and some chemicals, including mercury. If you go to the Nigerian printing and minting, if you go behind their factory, when they are printing any currency, you will know. You look at the effluent, the wastewater draining into the Lagos Lagoon, you just know that maybe they are printing 20 naira or 200 naira, or because of the color you see there. Now these are chemicals, and the fiber used in the paper, all these being handled by humans, and then somebody is sitting, his work is to receive all these monies that circulate through the banking hub and system. That person is operating in an occupation that is having that as a hazard, which the banking industry and the whole management system of that bank they've not focused on that.
So how do we enlighten these people? What has to be done?
Like I'm saying now, you put up a proposal. You say you want to sensitize people. You want to train this bank, and you find you'll be surprised that the very well-learned chief executives does not even understand what you are saying, and will think that is going to disturb the process. And you ask, what process is this disturbing? Is it disturbing the process of dying? Or because it's about dying slowly, dying installmentally.
Okay, Mr. Timothy, we need to stop at this juncture. But before we let you go, what word of advice do you have for such people and organizations?
My advice to such organization is they should embrace safety. They should embrace health. They should embrace environment the same way they embrace security. They wouldn't want intruder to break into their vaults and carry money away, so they should not allow illness to break into the biological system of their workforce and break their capacity to deliver.
All right, thank you very, very much. All right, Speed, this is as much I will be able to take on this segment of the show. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, it will be time for sports. Do not go away. We'll be right back.